welcome. I did not have an intro, but I did kind of maybe a little bit changed my entire life within the past month. So, hey, I'm back. So I've been gone for like a month, probably over a month, and I'm incredibly sorry about that. I just want to start out saying that flat out. I know I haven't said anything, and I will get into what happened and where I have been and like just why. I will get into that later. And just for anyone who is actually watching this and clicking on this, thank you for your patience and your curiosity, at least enough curiosity to have clicked on this video. But so for those who don't really care where I've been, I just want to start with a very short version of what is going to happen with this channel. So I'm not quitting. I'm not going. I still love Planet Zoo a lot, and I'm so excited to be back playing. I have not played it in over a month, probably almost 1.5 months now. I've not opened the game, and then I've probably not even used my laptop in 2 weeks now, or even longer, probably longer. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on. Anyway, so here's what's going to happen with the channel. My plan is to be fully back with a schedule again by January, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be videos before that, just like not regularly, because there's still a lot that I have to do in this next month. Like I think December is still going to be crazy, but I just miss the game and miss making these videos and miss sitting here talking to myself, but actually talking to you guys too much. I don't think I want to wait much longer. But yeah, like I said, kind of crazy circumstances right now, so I don't really know how realistic it is for me to do anything in this next month. And so yeah, there's a lot going on, like I said, and it feels like I'm purposefully dragging this out, but I want to get into what's going on after I set that. So don't worry, I was not planning to just abandon this channel and not say anything. I'm actually really excited to go back and play Planet Zoo again, and let's just hope that is rather sooner than later. And yeah, again, thank you for your interest in it, and if you don't really care what has been going on, then yeah, okay, so here the video ends for you here, yeah. Thank you for your interest so far, and for the ones that do want to continue to stay, I'm just gonna quickly pause this here because I took a million tries to get right what I wanted to say now, and I'm really happy to make it this far, and I don't want to mess it up. So let me pause this real quick. So just a teeny tiny little disclaimer before we get started. I'm gonna talk a lot about health stuff here, my own, which is basically COVID, but also other people's, and a lot of like kind of heavy emotional stuff, and just like a lot of life things. So if you're not in the mood to be stressed out with that, or you're really sensitive to health topics, then maybe not. I'm not mad. I understand. And also there's not going to be, you probably figured it out by now, but there's not a speed build or anything attached to this. I'm just gonna put whatever, just like some footage of the zoos that I've built so far, and which is hopefully gonna get me back in the mood to build soon. And yeah, so just a disclaimer. So now let's actually get started with a bunch of problems. All right, so the first big thing that we're going to talk about on to why I was gone is my health, which is probably the thing that most people could guess, because the last sign of still being alive that I've given anyone was this community post saying that I caught COVID, and that was only the beginning of it, and yeah, it really, really, really sucked. So, just to go back, the last video that I posted was kind of funny now, but it was the beginning of what I was planning to become my Halloween season, Halloween series, a quick series, that, yeah, didn't happen, because we're way past Halloween now, but, yeah, that was what I was planning to do, and, in that video already, I barely had a voice, and I couldn't make it through the entire voiceover, so before I even knew I had COVID, my voice had already actually really suffered. And then, I just had like a sore throat at that point, and the day after this video, I think maybe, I still went to work, which was dumb. Yeah, hello. So this is editing me. Obviously I did not know at that point that I had COVID, and I'm going to talk about that later, but I just want to make it clear before anyone gets the wrong idea. I would not have gone to work if I had known that I had COVID. All right, continue on. I got there and I was like, okay, so my throat kind of hurts. I don't know. And then I had a really like physically stressing day that day too, and I just could tell like over the course of the day, like with every hour passing, I felt so much weaker and weaker and weaker, and I was like, I sat down at one point and I said to my coworker, like, I am so glad that I sat down, because now that I'm sitting, I'm realizing that I needed to sit. Like, my body just literally couldn't take it anymore. Yeah, that was really weird. And then I was on my way home, and so I had to walk stairs, and like I made it like halfway through the stairs, and I was like, I literally can't anymore. I can't breathe. I feel so horrible, and then I had to take a break to finish the staircase. Yeah, that was really weird. And then my mom visited me that evening, and she was over, and I was just like, okay, I'm so sorry. Like, I think, yeah, she was already in my apartment, and I was like, okay, I'm so sorry, but like I have to lay down now. And I didn't get up for the entire evening anymore. Like, my mom was there, but I just like barely recognized it. I was just like, sorry, I have to lay here. And then I felt really bad. And mind you, at this point, I was planning to go back to work the next day, and my boss had said, like, please call me if you feel like you're gonna get more sick. Like, I'm gonna try to have someone cover you. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, it's just like a sore throat, you know. It wasn't, but so at this point, obviously, I did not know I had COVID, and I didn't think I had. The thing is, like, I get a sore throat very easily from talking a lot, so I just thought I had talked too much because I was working a lot the past few days. So COVID wasn't even on my mind when I was at work. I just want to mention that and make it very clear that that was stupid, but I didn't know at that point that it was COVID, and I didn't think about it, which is dumb, but I didn't. And then so as this evening progressed, I was more and more sure that this was not a sore throat from talking too much. It was, I was definitely sick. Like, I noticed it. I had a fever suddenly. And then when my mom was already on her way home, which later I thought, like, that was stupid. I should have just gone with my mom and not be alone that evening. But I was just like, I started to violently shake. I was like sweating, but I felt super cold, and it was just like everything all at once. And obviously the fever was getting higher, and just like everything sucked all of a sudden. And I was like, okay, I'm actually really sick. So I called my boss and was like, I guess you're gonna have to have someone cover me tomorrow. And so I knew that I still had a COVID test like in my cupboard, and I was like, if like I'm just gonna take it. And I checked, and it was still like it was still good. Like, they have an expiration date and everything, so it was still good. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take it. And yeah, it was so positive. It was like, you know, when you put like the little liquid on it, and it just like after a while there's gonna be like a line. The line was there so early. And I never had COVID before, so I don't know if that's a usual thing, but it felt like a slap on the face of like, you're so stupid, you obviously have it. And then basically, I think the next day or the night after that, I did make the community post that I had COVID and that I just couldn't sit up. Like, I could not sit up straight. Like, even laying down was like, I felt impossible. And I think for like probably a week, I didn't do anything. Like, nothing. I was just laying there. It was just existing. I didn't eat. I didn't even watch like any series or anything. I was just there. I was just waiting. And I don't know. and I had a really hard time breathing. I couldn't stand up because like my like I was getting dizzy all the time, and I was just shaking. Yeah, so I can now say that probably in my adult life I've never been this sick. Like actually it like kicked me in the face. I was done with it. Yeah, so then I began to kind of feel better at first. And during that slightly feeling better, something else happened, which is I'm gonna get to later in the video. But I just need to remind you here that from that point on, from kind of feeling better on, there was a huge, very stressful thing happening in my life that I was unprepared for. And it was not entirely, but it felt like it. And so yeah, that was like tearing me down more like probably like psychologically than anything, but it was also stressful, and it also meant that I couldn't actually get the rest that I would have needed probably because that other thing was happening. But we will get to the other thing later. But I started to feel better, and I did the stupid thing of going back to work. Hello, it is editing me again. So I just want to again make it very clear that at that point of going back to work, I was tested negative, and I didn't have fevers anymore, and most of it was gone. It was just, again, the sore throat and a little bit of coughing, but I genuinely felt good to go back to work. Maybe because I felt like I had to, but I was negative. Again, I would not have gone to work if I wasn't. And I'm also going to talk about that later, about work, but I did. And it was okay for like 2 days, and then my voice was entirely gone. I couldn't speak at all. It also, I did have this thing that a lot of people say when they have COVID, that they have this like absolutely unstoppable coughing all the time. And it was really, really bad for me too. And it was probably like 2 weeks where my voice was just like all broken, and I couldn't say more than 2 sentences without coughing. And then I still went to work, and I remind you, I'm a tour guide, so I talk loudly in front of people for a living, and I did that while coughing. I don't know how I did it, and I felt awful each time, and worse and worse with every tour that I did. But I felt like I needed to do it because of something else. And then there was this one tour that I had, and it was fine. And then like towards the end, I started coughing, and I couldn't stop, and it was really embarrassing too. Like, let's talk about that. It's very embarrassing to kind of not be able to like stop yourself from doing that. Like, you want to be professional, but like, you know, you're coughing. So it was really, really hard. I was trying like to drink something, and then the people on the tour, they had like these cough drop things, and I was like, okay, yeah. And I got to the point where I could finish it, but I felt like, okay, this is not, I don't feel good. And then on my way home, I started coughing again super hard, and it got so bad that I felt like I was gonna throw up, and I couldn't breathe anymore. And I was just like all alone. It was like late too, and it was pretty scary to feel like so helpless in a way. And I know it was stupid to go back to work, but I promise I'll have a dumb reasoning for it. So yeah. So I had this really weird evening of not being able to stop coughing and physically hurting because of it. And so the next day, I wake up, and the entire side of my body just like hurt. And I was like, what is going on here now? And it was kind of like around my ribs, right? And so I couldn't even touch the side. Like if I wanted to like put my hands in my hips, I couldn't have. It just hurt. And just like one side, right? And so long story short, so my mom suspects that I broke my ribs coughing, or one of my ribs, and I do think that's true. My mom had that happen a few times, actually. I don't know. I yeah, it can happen. You can cough your ribs, you can break your ribs coughing, and I'm pretty sure I did that because it hurt a lot. And that also meant that all the other things that I had to do, they couldn't wait. I had to do with a broken rib, not really catching a lot of air, and just like entirely feeling like shit. I'm just gonna have to say that. Yeah. So that entire thing is obviously a huge part of it. But if we just look at health, I probably could have been back making videos, or at least make this explanation probably like a week ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago. Now I still, when I talk a lot, I still get a sore throat in the evening, but it's not that I have to really cough a lot or I feel horrible or anything. So I am fine, right? And by the way, when I did go back to work, I did test myself negative, and I didn't feel sick at the time of going back. I just had that cough, and I was like, oh, it's just coughing. It's gonna go away. I'm tested negative. I do feel physically like the rest of my body feels fine, basically. And I would not have gone back if I was still positive, or if, I was actually scared that like I'm still very sick or anything. I think I made it worse again because I went back too early, but you know that stuff when it's already too late. So yeah, that was the health section of today's program. And now I'm just going to go to some other things that were happening before we get to the big thing that really kind of knocked me off my feet. Okay, so I'm just going to take another break because I also need to cough, actually. Whoa, never mind. Okay, we're starting with the big thing, actually. I think the other things make more sense if you put them in the context of the big thing. So, let's just go there. So, while I was still sick, and way before what I would have considered ready to do anything other than laying in bed and playing Animal Crossing, I got a call, and that call was, hi, well, basically there was a postal error and you didn't get a letter, and you have to be out of your apartment by the end of the week. And I was like, well, that really sucks because I don't have a new apartment. I knew that eventually I would have to move out of this apartment, but I never have gotten a letter about it. I've never gotten a date until when. I've not gotten anything from them. And I still to this day think that they never send anything, and they just decided that now they wanted to start renovating this house, and they were like, well, she's still there, we gonna have to get rid of her, right? And I'm pretty sure that is what is happening. And should I get a lawyer? Probably. But I don't know. I wanted to move out of this apartment anyway. And so it felt like, like pick your battles, I guess. So they were like, well, yeah, you're not going to have water and limited electricity, and all your neighbors are moving out this week. And basically, what are you doing now? And I was like, well, I don't know. And so I was sick in bed, writing to different landlords who like have apartments up for rent on eBay and stuff, and I was trying to get an apartment as quick as possible, so they didn't kick me out, but at that point I didn't know, so all my days I spend trying anything, like any place you could find apartments. I was trying. I was texting people, and so that was going on. But then I didn't know what was going to happen here. I was like, okay, so I'm not going to have water next week. So I was like, I called my mom. I was like, can you come over? And we are literally packing up everything that I have and like mop the floors as long as we still can, and just like wait what's gonna happen, because I don't know. I mean, it's so scary to think like you don't know where you're gonna be next week, and it's not like I was gonna be homeless technically. Like I could have stayed with my parents, and that was the plan. I was like, I'm just gonna go to my parents, but I didn't know what's gonna happen to all my stuff. Like, I've been living alone for 5 or 6 years. I have my own apartment, so I have stuff. um, and I was like, okay, so I don't know. Can I leave it here? Like, do they just want to shut off the water? Do they actually like want to start renovating this apartment by next week? I didn't know. So I began with my mom, and mind you, still sick and with a broken rib, packing my things, taking apart my furniture, deciding on throwing things away, which I have a hard time deciding things anyway. And when you're sick, that is so hard to do. And sick and sad. And so yeah, we did that. And it was a week of straight up taking my life and packing it in boxes. And I don't know, I'm a very nostalgic person. This was my first apartment, and it just kind of felt so lost, Like, it wasn't like packing it with excitement for a new thing. It was just like out of being scared, and I don't know, I felt very sad about that in a way. Even though I know it doesn't really mean anything, but to me it did, and so that was really weird. And those days, I literally just, I woke up in the morning at 8 a.m. and I worked towards like 2 p.m. at 2 a.m. in the morning, went to sleep for a few hours, and my mom was back at my doorstep, and we continued, right? It was like I just slept on a mattress on the floor. I'm still doing it. And we just packed everything up, and we were like, okay, ready to go. And then the next week I started looking at apartments, because luckily a lot of people replied pretty quickly. And I began looking at apartments the next week, while still packing things, while bringing all of my clothing and all of the things that I need in everyday life. We brought to my mom's place, because I was prepared to live at my mom's place and have a 2-hour commute to work. And so, yeah, everything was at my mom's place. And so before the water was even shut off, I stayed at my mom's place, which also meant that I didn't have internet, and my laptop and everything, it was packed up again already. And so I was like, well, this is another big thing. But I was basically waiting for another laptop that I would have used there, and it never arrived. But that's a story that I'm gonna go into the other things that happen kind of situation. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't have it on my hand, and I knew that I wanted to make a video explaining this, because it just didn't felt like a community post type thing. Yeah, so that all happened, and I have looked at apartments, and I found one, and they liked me, and I was offered it, and it went really, really quickly, and I'm very, very happy that it did. It's nice. It's alright. It's alright for a rush decision. I wish it was a bit bigger. But it has a lot of things that I was looking for. Like I said, I wanted to move. Like, I was planning to move. I just didn't think it was going to happen in a rush like this. Maybe it was good. Maybe it kind of pushed me to actually finally do it. But definitely wish I could have done that without the scare of it. But yeah, it's all right. I'm looking forward to furnishing it and everything. I'm not in the new apartment yet. I will get the keys to it in a few days, and then I'm going to get started renovating. Well, actually, it's not renovating. It's in a super good condition. I literally just have to paint the walls, and I'm done. But I'm not taking all my furniture with me. So I'm also going to go shopping, which I'm actually really excited about. So yeah, it went pretty quickly, but I did look at a lot of apartments, so that was basically another week gone. And mind you, I was already working again at this point, and I didn't feel like, when I was looking at the apartments, I was basically fine. Like, I still had like a scratchy voice and stuff, but I was fine. Like, I wasn't like insanely sick going there. Like, I don't think they've given it to me because because I felt sorry or anything. I was feeling fine, and like I said, I would not have gone out if I was not tested negative. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that the apartment thing kind of resolved itself. But that doesn't change that now, like, everything I have is just like in boxes. And I don't have an exact date on when I'm gonna get the keys, which is stressing me out a lot because I'm a planner and I want to know like the exact day. That is still stressing me out, and it is kind of weird to just have nothing in a place that you actually really liked. And just like, I don't know, I felt like I didn't get to really say goodbye to this, like, emotionally, you know? Like, I'm still in the apartment, I can still say bye when I closed the door last time, but it doesn't feel like I was ready to take everything down, like pictures and posters and stuff. Like, now it's just empty walls and like furniture pieces and a mattress on the floor, you know? And actually my desk is still there, and I've put my laptop back up and stuff. But yeah, so that happened. And so yeah, I know it doesn't sound like much, but that was very, very stressful on top of being sick. And there was a lot of smaller things just like still happening on top of both of these bigger things, which is what I'm going to get into now. And it might sound weird because I began recording the part that comes after before this one, so I might repeat myself or anything. But I'm just still kind of thinking of how I'm going to structure this so that all makes sense. Of maybe I can kind of give you an idea of like how overwhelming all of this was. So that all happened, and my laptop is now out of storage because I don't know. I don't really know. I still don't know if, like every day I wake up and I'm like, maybe there's water. I don't know. But I did pay rent for this month, so I guess they can't really shut it off. I don't know. But yeah. I don't know, just like a quick thing. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, but I'm not kicked out because I did anything wrong. I just want to say this here. I get kicked out because someone else bought this house and they want to renovate it. And they want to have everyone out. And it's a really shitty thing, actually, because in my apartment there was mostly like senior people, and they basically went through the house and they didn't actually kick anyone out because Germany is very strict with kicking out renters. They didn't kick anyone out, actually. They just went around and scared these old people and told them like, oh, well, you're not going to have heating in the winter and it's going to be so stressful and you're not going to have water and what are you going to do? And they kind of just scared them away. And what I think is so fucked up about it is that they bought the house next door and they put all these older people and told them like, oh, you can just move in next door. It's going to be so much easier for you because you don't have to actually like move, right? And they all took it, and now they're charging like double the rent for just next door. And this is not even a good neighborhood. Like, they are so overcharged, and it's just because they're scared, and it just makes me so angry. And I'm kind of happy that I can kind of piss them off by occupying this longer than they would have wanted me to. But what assholes. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's not legal what they're doing. I'm just gonna put that out there, but I what do I know? Maybe it is. No idea. But yeah, so that is the whole big losing my apartment situation right now. So yeah, let's go to the small things. Okay, so this next little section is things that were weighing me down emotionally during all of this. And I want to start by saying that even longer ago, I made a community post that was very vague, and I know that, and I'm going to keep it vague again. But I have a family member who's very close to me, who's very sick, and I was pretty much being there for him as much as I could, and I always felt like that wasn't enough. And then when all of this happened, obviously I couldn't see him, and that made me very sad, and I felt guilty about it. I know it was not my fault, but I don't know. I felt like he could have been better if I just didn't get sick. You know what I mean? Like I know I could tell that he was sad that we couldn't see each other, and I was sad, and I don't know, that made me on top of everything very emotional, and so that was there, and that was always in the back of my mind. And also there's this thing of like, oh, I hope I'm not choking up, but there's this thing of like, we're very close, and I was going through a lot, and I could tell that on top of being sick, to him it was also like, oh, well, I can't be there for her with all of this because I'm too sick, right? And I don't know. I think we were just like sad about each other. But yeah, so that was there, and I don't know. That was there too, I guess. I'm just gonna take a break. And we're actually going to stay with health stuff for another second here. So during all of this stress, my best friend got hospitalized after complications of a planned surgery, and it's really fucking scary to not know what is happening with your best friend. And we didn't talk for like a week because she literally couldn't. And that's scary. It's really, really scary. And it was like on the back of my mind, and I was so stressed that I didn't think about it. And then like a second that I would lay down or like look at my phone and see that my messages weren't going through to her, I was just like, oh my God. This is still there, and I still don't know. And I was actually considering calling her mom because it was just scaring me. I considered calling her mom, and then that day she actually replied, so I didn't. But yeah, that was really weird too. Okay, but the next stuff is kind of lighter, maybe. I'm gonna take another break. I just want to be sure because it's actually really hard to talk about that stuff, and I don't want to mess up a good recording by saying something stupid right after. So the next thing is kind of lighter. Still really sucks, but it's lighter compared to the other things. So I was about to lose my job. So, you know, that was really what I needed in that time. No, but that was not something I was unprepared for. You know, contracts just go to a certain time. They're temporary contracts, and I knew that it was going to end. But it was always on the table of extending it to something that was not temporarily, and so that I could stay with them for not a fixed amount of time from now on. And that was on the table, and I don't know what's gonna happen, what was happening. It was like big business world. I don't know it was still up there. Editing me again, because I kind of forgot a big thing here. This was kind of the reason that I went back to work, because I'm very, very lucky to have a student job where I get paid when I'm sick. But so it wasn't about the money, but it was about feeling as though, so these are the last weeks that I can show them that I'm good at this. And that I deserve this, and it just got to my mind that I was thinking like I for some reason wasn't gonna get that new contract if the freshest thing in their memory was that I was sick, or if someone like higher up who didn't know me would like look at it and be like, oh, but she's been sick for the last 3 weeks, so this is just someone that we're just gonna have to pay for being sick, right? So that all got to my mind that for some reason I guess I kind of gaslighted myself to think like, oh, you're fine, go back to work. But yeah, then the other thing I'm gonna talk about later is also that I was gonna miss the people, and I was like, I don't wanna not see them. Like, if these are the last weeks that I can see them, I kind of wanna have those last weeks with them. So, yeah. Still editing me, which is stupid. Don't do that. Don't go to work sick because you're gonna miss your coworkers. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard myself think. But in that moment, I was so emotional, and I felt like this was something that I wanted to hold on to. I don't know. It was stupid. It was so stupid, and I know. And I know it was irresponsible, and looking back at it now, I would have found it more responsible in showing more that I'm a good employee to actually get the rest that I needed. But I was on the edge. So, yeah, that was my way of thinking at that moment. So I had that uncertainty, and I can just say it really, really, really sucks to be looking for an apartment, not knowing your budget, not knowing where you're gonna go to work. Are you moving far away from your next job, or are you moving close to it? I wouldn't know. And also, like, not really being able to give a definite answer to a landlord of what your job is. Like, I'm a student. That is my hope. My main thing is that I'm in uni, but you know, you still need money when you go to uni. Yeah. So that was up there. But the crazy thing is that I always feel like with these kind of things, it's like you're gonna figure it out. Like there's always a way to do it. And I was not so stressed about the money and the security, even though that sucks. But it was more like, because everything felt so heavy, everything felt changing, that I really noticed that the days that I was going to work, I was just like, oh, so I'm going to feel normal for a few hours now. Like, I really actually needed to go there and to be there and to be outdoors and just do something that I was confident in, because I was not confident in doing anything in that time. Like, everything was uncertain and work wasn't. And to me, it was like it's so close now that maybe I won't even have this little stability here. More like, for me, like in my head, the stability of like feeling confident rather than the actual stability of income, right? That was really scary. I was like, I'm just gonna sit at home and think about my problems now. But luckily, and this is the good news, it worked out, and now I have a new contract that's better and cooler, and I'm so happy to be staying there. Because on top of it, it's not just like the work, but I've been working there for 2 years now, and at some point, and I really, really realized that it was like the past few months that I actually actively noticed this, but you begin to actually get attached to the people as well. And I always liked the people there. Like, from the beginning working there, I was like, oh, everyone's really nice, everyone's cool. Like, I'm confident being around them, or comfortable rather. But it was really in the past few months that I really realized, like, oh, you begin to know these people as people, and you start to understand their humor, and you're looking forward to seeing them, and you're having like out of work conversations with them and stuff like that. And that was really like, because let's face it, when you're an adult, you see your coworkers more than your friends, and just to think like, oh, I'm gonna miss these people. I don't know if I'm gonna like my new coworkers if I have to get a new job, and just think like, oh, well, I'm probably not gonna see them again, because it was not that close. I was like, oh, we're definitely gonna stay friends after this, right? But like, yeah, I was looking forward to seeing them, and then so that part of your social circle is also kind of gone then, right? So yeah, that really sucked. That was just like a ton of things that maybe on their own wouldn't have been so bad, but all together, I was just like, please don't take work away from me now. But it didn't happen. So I'm really happy. And actually, I think I signed my new contract the same day that I signed my new apartment, which felt kind of crazy. I kind of felt like a new person. Yeah, that was fun. I don't know. well, there's another really small thing, but I really love Halloween. I didn't get to feel the pre-Halloweeniness of it all. And I'm so sad about that. Like, I missed a Halloween this year. I didn't miss Halloween, but I missed, like, the nice feeling, the coziness up to Halloween, right? I'm not a Christmas person, but I am a Halloween person. Not so much Halloween, but, like, the fall. You get what I'm saying. But I missed out on that. And I also really like Halloween candy, and I didn't buy anything because I didn't literally have a household to bring home my candy to. But, yeah, so I missed out on that. And just, I don't know, there's been other, like, small things, and I can't even like think of them right now because it's just like everything's stressful. Yeah, but there's just like one other thing, and I'm gonna take another break before this, but that was actually more important to anything going on the channel than anything I just said. So if you actually listened through all of this, thank you for joining in on my podcast, I guess. Yeah, I'm really glad that you, for some reason, take so much interest that you listen to this. But if you didn't and you skip forward, that's still cool. Hey, skipper. Okay, so let's go to the last little thing, but after a break. So, just as I was about to talk about my shitty laptop journey, guess what broke my laptop? But, okay. I think I said it. I'm not sure. I've been talking for over half an hour. I'm not sure what I said, but I do think I said it. So, my laptop has been broken for approximately 2 years, and it was a very new and very expensive gaming laptop. Basically it broke after a very short amount of time. I bought it in the middle of COVID, like the era of COVID, not my sickness with it. And it broke very soon, and then because everything was closed, they were all like, yeah, we can't really help you, and I basically never got help, even though it was still within guarantee. Yeah, so I had a broken laptop for a while, and by broken, I mean that it randomly shuts off, which actually isn't the most annoying part, but it's not portable anymore because basically the hinges of, like, the mechanism of opening it, the hinges are so dumb. Like, my dad and I actually took it apart, so we saw how dumb it is. There's this, like, these huge metal hinges that you think they should be sturdy, but they're actually like tiny little plastic screws that held them in place. And my dad and I looked at it, and it was literally like the screws were literally just like breaking apart. I don't know who invented that, but that was really stupid. Anyway, it's broken, whatever. So now my dad has fixed it so far that I can use it. It still shuts off randomly, but that's beside the point. But I cannot close it anymore. And I cannot lift it. Like, it has to be stationary on a desk, basically like a desktop computer, right? And I'm like, well, I did pay a lot of money to have it as a laptop. If I wanted a desktop, I would have gotten one. Because I actually really, really hate working on a desk. Because I get back pain super easily, and I feel like when I can lay down, I'm more productive because I'm not constantly thinking about maybe getting back pains. I think it's more of a head thing than anything, but so I wanted a laptop, a new one, for a while, and I've actually ordered one, and this is ridiculous. In June, I ordered one, and I'm gonna spare you the details, but basically it didn't arrive for a month, and then it did arrive. It was broken, it did arrive. Wait. So yeah, it didn't arrive for a month. Then they said, well, we can't find it, so do you want a new one? I was like, yeah, okay, I want a new one. So they sent me a new one then, and then when that arrived, that was in the middle of me being sick, so I couldn't test it right away because it's really just lying there. And so I tested it unknowingly on the last day of being able to return it. So I opened it, it was broken. It was not like physically broken, but it kind of is, but when I started it, there was a huge huge stripe of just like dead pixels, on the display, and I did pay a lot of money because I wanted a specific display. And so I called them. I was like, hey, so that kind of happened. And then this lady was like, well, you bought this thing 4 months ago. We can't take it back now because it's broken now. And she's like, so it's going to have to be repaired. And I was like, well, I'm not going to have like a repaired display if you can't guarantee that it's going to be this specific display and not like a exchange thing, you know. And also it felt wrong to me to have a new thing already like screwed with, right? And I was like, well, okay, so if it's gonna have to be repaired anyway, I'm just gonna see if this like stripe of dead pixels actually gonna annoy me much, because like I'm not gonna send it away. Like I finally got it, right? So within like a few hours of that, the display entirely broke. You couldn't see anything. It was like flickering. It had like dead spots everywhere and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to call them again. So this time I had someone else. It was like a call center thing. And I had someone else, and he was like, well, you can still actually return it. Like, we count the days from when it was delivered, not from when it was bought. And I was like, well, good to know, because today's then the last day of that. And he was like, yup. And it was like, I don't know, it was like probably like 8 p.m. And so he was like, yeah, so you're not going to be able to send it back today, so you technically missed it, but you called in the morning and let us know there was a problem. And there was also a lot of back and forth and stuff. So basically they were nice enough to say, okay, we're going to take it back. We're going to give you the money back. I still don't have the money back. But, yeah. I'm pretty pissed about it because it was the exact setup of PC that I wanted, and it is not cheap. And I'm like, give me that money back. I'm about to move. I need it. But no, it's still set aside for a laptop actually. But because I knew it was gonna come, I did pack up all my things here. Because I was like, I'm just going to take my new laptop, because now I can actually take it places, and take it to my mom's place, and make this video that you're hearing now weeks later, make it from there, and never did. Because it didn't work. And I had to send it back. And so, yeah, with all this stress, I mean, I've been meaning to do this video for a week now. But it's also, I don't know, it's kind of hard to sit down and think about how much everything sucked, because, you know, now I'm on the other side of it. Now I can kind of laugh about it, but it was not a good time I was having last month, and that in my favorite month. I'm still sour a little bit about Halloween-y stuff, but, you know, can't have everything, but I can have a new apartment, so I'm thankful for that, and a job that I really love that I get to keep. And still no laptop though. But yeah, I'm gonna work on this, and I think also that the new laptop and the new apartment actually is gonna help me be more productive. So I'm hoping that actually when I go back, go back into making videos, which I will. I just want to stress this again. I really actually absolutely miss it. When I go back to making videos, I hope that I can actually make more videos within a week. And it's also been kind of frustrating before that, even before I was sick and before I was gone, because I obviously ordered it in June. I was expecting it to be there in June, and there was a lot of stuff that I had planned for the channel that I was like, I'm gonna do this on the new laptop, because it doesn't make sense to set everything up on this old thing that I'm probably not gonna be using to finish this with. So I was just kind of holding myself back and like waiting to get started on these ideas, which kind of also you know, kind of pressed on my mood and my inspiration for the channel. But yeah, so I'm hoping that once the apartment is resolved and the laptop situation is resolved, that I'll actually be more productive. And it's also going to play into the fact that, because right now when I'm making a video, I have to do it in steps. I cannot just like straight do it through because my back hurts so easily. And so I have to sit down so often that I'm wasting so much time with just like sitting and relaxing my back. And I remember that when I had the laptop that I had before this, that it's actually too old to run Planet Zoo now, but that laptop that I had before this, I remember that I could be on this laptop for hours because I could lay down with it, and I was not going to get too distracted when my back began to hurt, because I could just lay differently and it was okay, and you cannot do that on a desk really. And yeah, so I'm hoping that with me being able to take my laptop places and sit differently or lay down with it, I'm actually going to be more productive. So we're just going to, fingers crossed, say that I'm going to have so many more videos that you're not even going to remember that there were none in October. But I want to say we're probably not going to finish the Halloween thing. I'm out of the mood of Halloween right now. So we may, next year is still Halloween, and you're all still going to be very interested in Planet Zoo. Okay? I decided that. So good luck finding a new game you like. But no, in all seriousness, thank you a lot for sticking with this and coming back to this. Like, even if you haven't watched it all the way through, who cares? You're still here. Yeah, again, a very sincere apology here that I did not say anything earlier. I was planning to, and it just didn't happen. Yeah, so here's an update on my life. Yeah, okay. That was fun. Actually, it wasn't, but no, it was fun. It was fun talking to you again. I missed that. Okay, so thank you for listening, and thank you for sticking around, and I don't know when I'm going to see you again, but hopefully not in January. Hopefully before that. By the way, we have the Peccary. I'm so excited. So, actually, if you listen to this, let me know what's new in the Planet Zoo community, because the only thing I know is the Peccary. I don't even know if there's a new pack announced, or when, or what, or if we have clues already. I'm out of it. I no idea. So, if there's anything other than the Peccary, let me know. But yeah, okay. Again, I'm sorry, and again, thank you for listening. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!